Oh!
What were you watching?
Huh? No, I was messaging Cody.
Ah.
Yeah. Ooh.
So this place we have the choice of getting this order of meat, no refills.
Yeah, you only get 3 plates of this.
3 plates of this. These are unlimited refills. I'm sure there's a time limit.
Yeah, so it says 100 minutes. So
Oh, 100 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's like different types of broth.
Yep.
This is spicy. I think he said this one is 매콤해.
Oh, really?
I don't think he said anything 매콤해 about
No,
this.
it says 매콤한 된장 육수.
It says here that if there are leftovers, there's a penalty of 5,000 won, which is about $5.
What the fuck?
That's good though.
Yeah, no, that's great. I was just gonna, I don't want to waste anything. This New Yorker's taking her backpack because it's unsafe.
Listen, we were at Taco Bell the other day and we went up to the 2nd floor and this girl straight up left her bag with all the stuff she like bought shopping and her purse and they just left. And I freaked out.
Yeah, like left as in went downstairs, totally far away, not even in sight of her stuff. It's amazing. Ooh, Oreos.
Wow, you got real quick with this one.
I got my priorities down, babes.
Can we get a lot of this too, babe?
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So we got king oyster mushrooms, winter mushrooms, oyster mushrooms. This one just straight up says fake crab stick. Fake. I like the honesty.
Yeah. We got like different cuts of meat ready for us.
What are the last 2 rows for?
Same thing.
Oh. Just grabbing stuff. Thanks, babe.
So I got some soft serve ice cream and I crushed up some Oreos in here.
Do you think they purposely kept the Oreos nearby for this purpose?
No, because they have a separate ice cream toppings section with like jams and sprinkles and chocolate chips and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is just over by the dessert area, and then I just took a few and I basically crushed it in a different cup, and then I put it in here, and it's kind of like it's like a McDonald's Blizzard.
McFlurry.
Oh, McFlurry.
McDonald's Blizzard.
All right, I've been in Korea too long. No, Dairy Queen does Blizzards.
Oh. It's just like a Blizzard.
McFlurry.
So we're gonna go to the supermarket now because earlier today I made hummus and I want to pack Brandon a snack. So I just want to get like carrots and I don't know if they'll have celery. Celery is actually quite hard to find.
Celery's hard to find?
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, I guess that's right. I've never really seen it in Korea. So the restaurant, we would not go back. I mean, the meat quality was good, but the flavor was whatever. The sauces, oh man. I guess I didn't like the fact that if you don't like it, they still charge you like 3,000 for changing the sauce.
Broth.
Sorry, the broth. Which I think is lame, because if you don't like it, even though you meant to do it, I don't know.
And like other shabu-shabu places we've been to, you know, after a while, like when you are cooking the veggies and the meat, naturally some of the broth, it gets soaked up into the vegetables, and so the amount of broth goes down, and so they come by and like add a little bit more, you know, so that it doesn't like burn. there wasn't any of that this time. And yours was actually so salty that I had to go and get hot water to kind of make it a little bit more bland.
Yeah. And then the dipping sauces.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the one that we got in the end was pretty okay, but overall, just not that good.
Yeah.
Even if it was good, the cost would be a little bit prohibitive to go regularly.
Yeah. How much was it per person here?
25. And then I guess one last thing, what that was interesting is all the workers there are Japanese girls, so they tried some weird concept where they imported Japanese ladies.
That's supposed to be a Japanese shabu place, that's why.
Yeah, I know. But I find it interesting that they just brought, like, it's not even, they're just like young girls who speak very poor Korean.
Yeah, I was like, why is this Korean girl speaking Korean so differently, you know?
Yeah.
I couldn't understand what the first girl was saying to us.
Yeah.
And then you realized that they weren't Korean.
Yeah. What are you here to get again? Just celery or? Carrots. Oh, carrots for the hummus.
You want strawberries?
Sure.
Korean strawberries are the best.
They are pretty amazing.
When they're moldy. But they smell like candy.
Tastes like candy too.
Smell that.
Oh. It smells like there's already sugar on them.
It's good?
Yeah.
Whoa, what is this? Yogurt almond. Oh my gosh, that doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah, that sounds ridiculous.
This is really good. I don't know about this specific brand, but if you think of like, well, they're not as soft as gummy bears, but it's like dried sweet potatoes. They're really chewy and delicious. And
roasted, dried.
Like the fresh carrot. Look how fresh it is. They're still dirty.
Yeah. Cooked means like
dirt.
Dirt.
Or soiled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fresh that they didn't have time to wash it off.
혹시 전화번호 드리면 포인트 되나요?
감사합니다.
Alright, we are back home now and we're gonna answer some of the questions that we got from episode 26.
Thank you for your questions, by the way.
Yes, thank you very much.
Very much.
The first one was for you.
Yes.
How is the fitness challenge going for Brandon? I hope he's kicking butt. Leah Marie.
Leah, not well, sadly. I think a big part of it was I don't have like a workout situation sorted. Not doing that was really discouraging for me, and then I think family ended up coming. What was it when I started to like kind of go off and not eat as healthy?
You were maybe when I got back. Yeah, but by the time I got back, I honestly forgot you were on the challenge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then we just kind of started eating whatever.
Yeah.
And then like I would offer him something, and then I don't know how I would like eventually remember that you're doing the challenge, but yeah, I just kept forgetting, and it didn't feel like.
Yeah, because in the beginning you were offering me stuff, and there was a couple things that I tried to at least eat healthy, so we were still having like a beer or wine or something like that, but I was still trying to eat healthy, and so I would in my head just make little compromises, and then compromise after compromise. I'm still not as bad as I was before the challenge in terms of eating, and I'm still pretty mindful with my diet, but still very far from actually improving significantly. So
some I kind of answered. If they weren't lengthy answers, I just answered back in the comments. Josephine, thank you so much for the warning about lowering my expectations about the Netflix reunion series of Gilmore Girls. It's honestly probably one of the worst things I've ever watched on TV. I mean, I still liked watching it because I really liked the original show, and it was, you know, more for that nostalgic, oh, like my friends are back sort of feel, but it was pretty terrible. It took me forever to finish. I finally finished it today. Florence said, how are you both doing? How is life in your new place? How are your plans looking for the possible move to Hawaii? Currently, I'm feeling a little odd because I don't know why it hit me so hard last night, but it was like, I kind of don't want to wear makeup for the next few days just to prove that I can do it. And I really like was fighting myself because my chin area is so broken out right now. Yeah, I'm just realizing how aware of it I am. I think that's part of the reason why I wasn't like really into wanting to vlog today too. And even like the first thing that you said to me when Brandon came home, he was like, your makeup looks different. I'm like, I'm not wearing any. Yeah, I mean, I put on a little bit of concealer just to tone down the redness, but to be fair, like the rest of my face where I don't have makeup on, it doesn't actually look that bad. It's just because over here is so bad.
I think that's why I said that, is because, you know, your skin looked very smooth and even, and you still had a little bit of a tint going on your lips, and then I think the eyebrow tattoo.
Oh, the eyebrows threw him off because he was like, yeah, he forgot that. This is semi-permanent. Yeah, so currently that's how I'm feeling right now in this moment, to be very honest. There's a little part of me that's like, oh, I did it, you know. I went out without makeup. And especially somewhere like Gangnam, I feel weird not putting on makeup and going out because everyone's so put together, right? Such like a date spot or like a hangout spot. So I was like extremely aware of that. I'm doing okay. I kind of have been fluctuating a little bit with like being in like a creative rut and not being as excited, or maybe not having like real clarity on what to do with my channel. So I'm kind of in a bit of like a funk in that regard, but yeah.
But the good thing is we got some videos planned that are well, I think the big thing is like you're taking more, you're planning on taking more risks, which inherently is a little bit frightening. And there's been a few ideas that you've just had in your mind for a long time that you haven't pulled the trigger on.
I'm like,
so
I should just do it.
Yeah, so I'm helping her to move. Like even this Saturday, she wants to film something. I'm going to help her capture, and hopefully that, you know, amounts to something. So that'll be exciting.
How are you doing?
I'm tired. I actually ended up. I thought I said bye to my cousin who's in town with his fiance. I thought I said bye to him on Sunday after our like big family barbecue that we had. But he messaged me last night right at about the time I got off work and was like, hey, come out to Itaewon and let's have some drinks and play darts. Of course, I mean, I want to see him anyway, and then he said darts, and so I took my dart bag and we didn't end up playing darts, but
oh, you didn't?
No, we didn't, but it was fun. It was good. My sister, we kind of guilted her into coming out. By the end of the night, everybody had cried.
It was like family bonding time.
Yeah, but I mean, we did share like real stuff, like real hardships that the family went through that, you know, I actually learned a lot of it for the first time. But regardless, it was good. I mean, in the end, the family's all good, and they're over those hardships, and you know, we the next generation. It was a good bonding moment. And I mean, I ended up staying out till like 1 a.m.
So you're tired today?
Yeah, so I'm pretty tired, and I don't know, I've been overwhelmed a little bit at work. Things are happening, things are moving. Yeah,
what was cool yesterday was you told me that in the morning you were feeling overwhelmed and fearful, but instead of letting that paralyze you, you took the time to meditate and pray.
Yes, and journal.
You were journal and listening to the podcast, and you really took action to get yourself out of that instead of just letting yourself fall into a hole, you know. That's really cool. Yeah,
and I think because normally I'm so easily prone to analysis paralysis, and even as I was journaling, my thoughts just went from thought to thought to idea, and then in the end I was thinking to myself like, well, what's the answer here? And yeah, I learned that there were some things that I was feeling in my gut that I wanted to do, and the other half of like something that I want to do is like feeling fear, a lot of fear in a particular area. And now I know that sometimes when you fear something, that's the way that you're supposed to go, but you're afraid to do it. And so I let myself feel the fear, and I was like, okay, well, let me lean into that and let that be the compass. So
how is life in your new place? I'm still loving this apartment. Like I would be really sad to leave it. And I'm sure I've said this before, but because it's so much smaller, it can easily feel and look cluttered. I feel more of like an urgency to put things away or clean because we want to make it feel as spacious as possible. But also because it's so small, we do have to be more cautious about what we let into our lives, just so that it doesn't build up and cause clutter. Like one of the things that is kind of I'm feeling uncertain about is I do need to make a Costco trip soon, but then you know in Costco like everything is just sold in such huge amounts, and it's like, oh, where are we gonna store it? Like even now we have some toilet paper hiding behind our filing cabinets, and we just have to be more creative with how we store stuff away. We have like 2 huge suitcases hidden on the left side of our bed that like kind of drives you crazy, but there's just no place to put it. And for me it's not that much of an inconvenience. So I guess I love it because it's forcing us to be very intentional about what we bring in, and also it's forcing us to be creative about how to, you know, how the layout of our places is what I want to say. And did you want to add something?
Yeah, I do love the location the most. Obviously it's close to work. It's in the heart of Gangnam, which is great. And I do like that we have less stuff. But I was watching some of our old vlogs the other day, and I do miss the space. Yeah,
I missed the space when, because we had his cousin and his fiance stay with us over this weekend, and it was great having them, but honestly it was a tight space for the 4 of us, and if anything I think I would have been okay with the sleeping situation, but it's really uncomfortable when we have one bathroom and if we're all in the living room and if you're like, you know, trying to take it, like, it got a little awkward. Yeah, so like on Saturday actually I was the last one to get ready, so I was like, babe, just go out first with everyone, like I need to use the bathroom, but I can't, like with all this I had stage fright basically.
Yeah, but her stomach was hurting so bad. Yeah. So she was like angry.
Yeah, I was like, babe, just get out.
I was trying so hard to leave fast, but
yeah. Okay, and plans looking for the possible move to Hawaii, that hasn't been dismissed. I don't really want to share like the time frame yet because it's not certain, but yeah, it's still very much on our hearts about living there. Susie said, I was wondering if there was ever a time in a relationship when you didn't feel as comfortable being so open about what upset each other to start a fight, and if so, how you managed to start such open dialogues. Oh yeah, definitely. In the beginning, like our first year of marriage, it was Brandon wanting to talk and be open, and me just shutting down and like, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to talk about it. And I wouldn't give him any sort of a warning either, like, hey, I'm not ready to talk about this right now, you know, can we come back to it later on? It was just, I would just walk away and be mad. And I know you had a hard time with it because it was like I was ignoring you.
Well, the hard part was I knew, I mean, with everything that was being communicated body language wise and, you know, facial expression, I mean, just body language, everything was communicating something is wrong. And of course, you know, you're supposed to ask about it, and I'm, you know, sensitive to these things, so I was asking what's wrong, and then she would tell me nothing.
Okay, but to be fair, I think most females do that.
Well, I'm not, let me get to my main point. So when she says nothing to me, she's like lying to me now, right? So she's like, she's being dishonest, and I just got really irked by that. And so that, and you know, when she does try to communicate to me and it comes off in a way where it's like coming, like it's kind of like there's injustice, like it's mostly my fault type of communication, or like you're attacking my character kind of thing, you know, not that you mean to, but you know, that's a skill that you have to learn. Because of the way that I grew up and the way that I kind of am wired, I have a really hard time not keeping it cool. So it was like, it ended up being a very, like a recipe for disaster.
Oh, so bad.
She would either like say, like in what I was seeing, either lie to me and say that nothing's wrong, or when she did talk to me, it was like a full-on attack. And then my response sadly is to make it hurt twice as much.
I guess like without overgeneralizing, because I know I said earlier that most females do that, but in some way, I think when I am upset and you ask me what's wrong, for me it's almost like a slap in the face, like how could you not know what's wrong? is something wrong. It's like, for me, I like almost expect you to already know, but for you to ask me, I feel like you want me to like spell it out for you. And in that way, it makes me feel like, wow, like, do you even care at all about how I'm feeling or how I got there? And that's honestly how I felt. And I think there's like jokes and parodies about that, right? Where like men will ask their significant other like, oh, what's wrong? It'll be like, nothing. And then it's like, oh crap, like what did I do, you know? So I say that to say that's kind of how I used to think. But yeah, after many ugly fights like that, it's something had to change. And one of the things that we learned in marriage counseling, we've had like 2 sessions after we first got married, and it's really like separating the person from the action. So when you do this, it makes me feel so and so. So it's like when you leave your socks all over the place, it makes me feel like you don't respect my time or something like that, versus you're so messy, you're such a slob, you're this and this and this. So it's like, yeah, I'm not putting him down as someone with bad character or whatever, because immediately if I were to say it like that, and I have, for you it would be like, what are you trying to say? Like I'm a bad husband, or that I'm a dirty slob? And it just,
yeah, and then it's like, then don't touch my socks, leave them there.
Yeah, leave them there. And then for me it's like, you're never gonna clean it. It's like, if it's gonna get cleaned, I have to be the one to do it. So
and then, yeah, and then if she says that, it's like, hey, I was just fine before we met. And then it gets like almost like, yeah, fine, get out of here.
Yeah, it becomes really bad.
So in the end, basically what was important is that we started to learn, and this, I mean, it came in a lot of forms. She mentioned a book earlier, Boundaries, that was very helpful to her, and it came at the right time. And then other married couples hearing us and looking into our life and kind of helping to identify, like from an outsider's point of view, like, hey, so these are some of the things that we're seeing, and this is, you know, what we went through as well. And we were able to identify and be able to see, like, oh my gosh, I'm like that too. You know, whether it's upbringing or trauma or just the way that we're wired inherently. And so, you know, a lot of it comes down to awareness of not just how you're wired, but your past and how that affects your, you know, future. And I think as we both began to understand each other's points of view, then we were able to give each other more grace.
Veronica said, what would your advice for young dating couples looking to get married be?
The fact that you guys are looking to get married, that's big. I mean, if it's mutual and you're looking to get married, that's very hard to find. And so I think you're already starting off in a good place. I don't know, it's hard for me to give general advice about this, but sometimes I do think about, like, if I were to start over, how would I start over again? And I think, you know, while I have the chance, I would definitely save more money.
Oh yeah.
Like read a couple of books on, you know, how to invest wisely. There's a lot of good resources out there. Mr. Money Mustache has some good ones. I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, apparently, is a good one.
You like that more than Dave Ramsey?
Well, Dave Ramsey is great for learning how to budget. So if you don't have a budget, then yes, Total Money Makeover is a good starting place to set up a budget. And Tony Robbins' book, I don't know, I haven't finished it, but, you know, Chad was really into that one. His book on money, I forget what it is, but learning how to budget and figuring out where you're going to invest your money, you know, those complement each other. And if you can, the earlier you figure that out, the much better.
The thing that I want to add is most people feel like a big part of not feeling ready for marriage is because they feel like they're not financially ready, or like, I don't have enough money, or and that's true to a certain degree. I think if you have like mounds of debt, that's probably something you want to tackle before starting a family. But at the same time, I do want to say that if you have like at least the very basic principles down about getting out of debt, or like you're on the right track, not that you necessarily 100% got out of debt, you start looking into investments, investing your money, or, you know, just wanting to be more thrifty about where and how you spend your money. If those basic principles are there, I think the enough money, because you can't put a price on that, I guess I just want to say that you guys will figure it out. I think a lot of people feel like, oh, we don't want to have kids because we're not ready, and a lot of times it will be because we don't have enough money saved up for this and that, or I've been with this girl for like 10 years but I haven't proposed because I'm not ready yet, and it's like I didn't save enough money. But you'll figure it out, you know, as long as it's not like huge red flags.
I agree in a sense. Well, I agree totally, because if I think about where I was, thankfully I did learn how to budget, and I was helping, and we were teaching you to do that. The investment thing came a little bit later, and I'm still working on that part. But definitely being married focuses your priorities a lot, so it's definitely like probably helps accelerate, if anything, that whole process of having enough or whatever, or being on the right track. I agree. Like, there's not like a set amount. It's just both being aware and having, like, being on the right track to either get out of debt or save, or, you know, be on the right career path or whatever. So
there's this pastor, his name is Andy Stanley, and he's the pastor of a church called North Point, and he has a series, a love, sex, and dating series, in podcast form and actually in video as well. So if you download the North Point app, I think that's what it's called, he has a sermon series called Love, Sex, and Dating, and in there I think there are maybe 3 or 4 talks, and one of them is saying that the right person myth. It's like there's no such thing as the right person. Like, we are all flawed, like broken people, right? And so the expectation that you will marry someone that it is the perfect one for you, that's actually just an illusion. And another thing that he said that really stuck with me is, and I'm totally guilty of this, because before, you know, Brandon and I started seriously dating, like, I always kind of had a list of the qualities that I wanted in my husband, and a lot of them were truthfully very superficial stuff. And his talk, Pastor Andy's talk, said something along the lines of, you know, in the time that you're single, or even if you're dating, right, but before you're married, you should work on becoming the person that the person you're looking for is looking for. So instead of like drafting up a list of like, this is what I want, what I want, what I want, if you think about your future husband, if you have him in mind, it's like, okay, what kind of a woman can I be so that I can support and love my husband in the best way that I can, and not for this man to make you whole, but that you guys are both self-aware, whole individuals coming together and like learning to compromise and help each other grow and like sharpen each other, right? So I think I wish if I had to do the whole dating thing over, I would want to work more on myself instead of focusing on all the things that I want in someone else, you know? How do you become the person that the person you're looking for is looking for? I would say is really sound advice. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below. Good night. I can't stay.